Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So yes, this is the last wall update. It's not a fully last wall update. This is just like a last wall update for my Intercessor Marines. As you can see, I've got quite a lot of Intercessors now, and it's only going to go up in number because I'm working on my next batch of Intercessors, which we'll get into in a second. But for those of you wondering what has changed, it's these guys at the front. The Soul Drinkers have finally arrived. They've answered the last wall protocol. Now, for those people who are going to say, Valrak, the Soul Drinkers are not true sons of Dawn, you know, they're heretics, they're traitors, where's the spider legs, where's the mutations? These are the Soul Drinkers reborn. With the Indominus Crusade, Gilliman said that chapters would be reborn, who were lost, who were destroyed and stuff like that. And I chose to do one of the chapters that I love the best, which was the Soul Drinkers. Ben Counter wrote a fantastic series on them. If you haven't checked it out already, go and check it out. Awesome stuff in there. So here we go, they're back as the Primaris Marines. And for those of you, as I stated, said they're not Sons of Dawn, they were Sons of Dawn at one stage in their life. They did answer the last wall protocol once before during the Beast Arises series, and that is good enough for me. They will always be Sons of Dawn for answering that call back in the day. Now, the chapters that I have so far with the Intercessors, I'll just go through them all. So Soul Drinkers at the front over here. Subjugators, people get confused with what the green guys are. So these are Subjugators. Really awesome chapter. I have an epic last stand at Cadia, one of their companies. Go and read about it. Excoriators, the chaps in the back. Executioners, no, they're not Iron Warriors, get out, heretics. Crimson Fists in the middle, yes, I need to expand the Crimson Fists. I've only got 5 of them, because I plan to give them a vehicle, but, you know, that plan went out the window. So I will be making 5 more veteran Crimson Fists. Of course, the Imperial Fists as well. And the next chapter I'm doing are these chaps. It's this colour. It's called the Imperial Warbringers. It's like this kind of like darkish greenish kind of khaki green. I really don't know what kind of green I would call this, but it's basically that green. They have like 2 swords like crossed on their pauldron like that to really make them, you know, a badass little symbol. So those are the next chaps that are going to be added to this. It's going to be another 10-man Intercessor squad. What my goal is through all of this, of course I'm making the last wall, but I want a goal of having 100 Intercessor Marines, just for the sheer fun of it, so I can deploy 100 Intercessors, like when I do like big events and stuff like that. Yes, I'm going to have vehicles and all that kind of stuff. If I just bend down here for a second, where is it? For example, just get this out of my case. I do have other chapters of the last wall that are not Intercessors. For example, the Celestial Lions, for those of you who've seen it. Yes, I made them like aggressors because of course, Orc snipers, and they wanted to prepare themselves more to be more to survive on the battlefield, let's say. So that's why I gave them Gravis armor and stuff like that. So there is other chapters a part of the last wall that are not part of the Intercessor group, but the majority of the last wall group will be all Intercessors. Right. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put most of these to one side. Give me 1 second. We're going to cut the video and we'll come back and we'll just look at the Soul Drinkers. I'll go through each model, show you off the captain that is leading them, because he's like a special captain. I'll go through all the decals and everything like that, and you can see it all. One thing I actually do want to show off before we actually leave this is that, as you can see now, all the bases are starting to work together. So look, all the snowy bases, so they're all fighting on one planet. They're all connected, even though they have different colours. They are all connected by the bases. That is the theme. This is the last wall fighting on the same planet to purge either a heretical foe, or, you know, maybe a Xenos foe or something like that. It's the bases that makes the theme come together, in my opinion. And I absolutely love snowy bases. Bright colours with snowy bases, I think, just work perfectly. It's a really good contrast. I know a lot of people ask me how I do my snowy bases. I'll include a video in the top right of this video, which is a tutorial on how I do my snowy bases, because, again, people ask me a lot about that. Anyway, let's cut the video, let's come back, and let's look at these Soul Drinkers on their own. Okay, and we're back. So these are the Soul Drinkers, 10-man squad of Intercessors, like I said, led by a captain. So this is the captain. Let me see if I can get close with the captain, show you off how he looks. So the purple I use, by the way, because a lot of people always ask me what purple I use, so if it does come closer. So I use this purple. This was the Phoenician purple from GW. Put it into my own dropper bottle, since GW don't do dropper bottles. So what's the process that I actually do? Well, I use this surface primer, which is the Vallejo one, right from here. What I do then is spray the purple over, of course, the primer. Then in the recesses, I go around with some Nuln oil. Go all the way around it. That way it gives a little bit of definition to the model. Then what I do is, of course, start painting like all the golds on and stuff like that, the metallics, the blacks where I need it, like the blacks like in the joints over here, if you can see like the joints on the black and stuff, and paint all that in. The silvers, the purity seals, the cape, of course, you know. Oh, by the way, people always ask me how I actually assemble my models as well. I assemble them in bits. So I do the body separate, I do the arms separate, then I do the shoulder pads separate, the head separate, and the back pads separate, and then I just stick it all together. I find it easier to do it that way, and you can get in more detail. Like if you, like for example, this guy, we'll get back to the captain in a second. But for example, this guy, if you was to glue it all together, it would be hard to get into like the chest piece, the chest area and stuff like that, and yeah, it just makes it more difficult for yourself. So if you do it all separate, I find you can get in, you can, you know, give more detail to it, especially with me who likes to weather these guys a lot. You can see all like all the weathering on them, and when you do it separate, you can actually go in there and weather it a lot more, and it just makes it a little bit more cooler. So you can see the weathering. These are the decals on these guys. The decals are from Scumbag Customs. Link in the description as always. I always include that. No barrels drilled. I refuse to drill my barrels because I do not conform to your imperial ways. These guys have got the auto bolters, because I've learned one thing, is that Imperial Fist and having all the bolter shots is always going to be a huge success. Right, let's get back to this captain for a second. So this is the captain. You can see all the detail on him and stuff like that. Chose a nice little face on this guy because of the rule of cool. As always, ever take a shot every time I say rule of cool during the video, you're probably dead at the end of it. The black cape to symbolise that there is darkness in their past. You know, they haven't forgotten their ways, and they will not stray from it. I know a lot of people said, why don't you do a white one and stuff like that? That's why I did a black one. Just, I don't know, a little bit of lore for myself. The base, just a normal snowy base, I said, like I was saying before, all connects it all. I washed the black with, I washed the gold with Nuln oil again. You can probably see it a little bit there, and then went around and weathered it a little bit more. You can see like all the weathering on this guy a bit. This guy has got weathering on his shoulder pads, the command sigil there, and of course again this guy has got a weathered soul drinker symbol, the power fist and stuff. I'm not sure if I said it already, but this is like the limited edition captain, the fancy captain. I'm not sure if you can get him anymore. I've been saving him in my drawer, and I thought, you know what, he'd make a really cool soul drinker, the way he looks and all these, he's like flash on him. He'd look good in purple. A couple more guys just over here. Actually, I think we've already shown this one, haven't we? Yeah, we've already shown that one off, sorry. So here's a couple more guys. You can see like I weathered some of the symbols a little bit more to show the battle damage, and really ripped them apart in some areas. The lenses are all red. I use Soul Gem as for the lenses. I know a lot of people ask me how I actually do my lenses. I basically put in some silver, let that dry, then just dab some layers of Soul Gem in there, and it gives it like that kind of glassy effect, and it really stands out on the tabletop. It actually looks like lenses. So yeah, there's another one. The captain, not the captain, the sergeant. The sergeant was, I say a bit tricky. I just didn't know what to do with the helmet. I know a lot of people say just do the normal red helmet. A lot of people say no, do a white helmet. So I decided to do a white helmet, and I actually did a white helmet and a red helmet, and I put them both on to test them, and the white helmet looked the best, so that's why I actually went with the white helmet. I'm not too sure what kind of colour squad markings I should put on this guys. On these guys. So if anyone's got any thoughts and feedback, should I do white or should I do black? I'm not too sure. So yeah, help me out. You know, post down below and we can discuss it down there. But again, this guy's like looking at his little communication things, like beep boop beep, heresy over there. A couple more of them. I'll do these in twos now. Might as well do them in twos. A couple more. All looking very, very cool. I like how they've turned out. The purple, I think, turns out pretty well. All the damage on them. Soul Drinker symbols, as you can see, and the squad markings. Again, the squad markings, I decided to do them as gold. I think they're normally white as Soul Drinkers, but for the rule of cool, I was like, you know what, I'm going to do them as gold because I want as much gold in these guys as possible. Guy with a grenade launcher charging forward, dackering. Yeah, here we go. Just more of them. More. There we go. I think they turned out well. All my stuff is tabletop standard. I've always said this to everyone. Like, I don't aim to do anything else because that's all I'm going to do with these guys. I'm just going to play them on the tabletop. Like, I have my display army in my cabinet, which is my Custodes, which I rarely touch. They're just there to guard, as Custodes do. These guys are actually the ones out in the battlefield, actually purging and stuff like that. So, yeah, these are like my battle-ready army. But yeah, I like how they look. I like how they look. They are turned. Well, they did turn out nice, very, very nice. I'm very, very pleased how they turned out. Right, so that's my Soul Drinkers there. There we go. The Soul Drinkers have been reborn, ladies and gentlemen. They have been awakened from the ashes of damnation. They are sons of dawn once more. If anyone tries to tell you otherwise, ignore them. They are truly the heretics. Next, as I said, I'm currently doing these guys. I'll just grab a handful, excuse me. Look, I'm going to be building these more on the stream and stuff as I do my stream. These are going to be Imperial Warbrinkers. This is what I mean when I do them in bits. So I'll do the chest, so I'll do the bodies like this. Then I'll do the arms separate, the head separate, the backpacks or the power pack separate, the shoulder pads separate, all separate. And then I just glue it all together, and it works. There is always a little bit of a clean up, but not a lot. You just don't go overboard gluing it together, and it works perfectly. Anyway, that's me done for another video. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you've got any thoughts, feedback, anything like that, leave it down below in the comment section, and we'll have a nice little chat down there as we always do. Yeah, thanks guys. Hopefully more Last Wall will be coming soon. Actually, that's one thing I wanted to talk about. I completely forgot. I've basically got this left. That's all I've got left. Like, I've just opened my intercessor box now, so this is the only model I've got left now unopened, and then I'm done. Element Games, where I shop, is all sold out. Of course, GW is not posting anything. So I don't know what to do, because I want to paint this as a Black Templar Dreadnought. But I wanted to theme it around all the Black Templars I plan to do, so I think I'm just going to put this away in a cupboard until I get more intercessors, so I can start kit bashing some Black Templar Marines. So after the next Imperial Warbringers, I basically have no hobby to do. I know, it's mad, it's absolute madness. I've actually caught up on my hobbying during lockdown. But yeah, just want to share that with you. Thanks for coming, thanks for watching, you've all been amazing. I'll see you very, very soon. Have a great day, and bye-bye.